atheist.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, please.
Not a Trinitarian, but my question would just be, do you have an argument for atheism?
No.
Okay, do you have like good reasons to be an atheist?
It's just the position of not believing in a deity.
No, I'm familiar position, but do you have good reasons to
Well, like,
hold
like,
that position?
like for example, do you think Allah is real?
Um, Not sure what that has to do with anything. I'm just
Well,
trying to see if you have any like
the
motivations for your position.
the point is that normally when I'm talking with someone, we probably agree on 99.9% of the theist claims out there, meaning that many people claim some position, like there's a deity that controls the weather or something, or a deity that can swim or whatever. I don't fucking know, right? And
Oh
we
no, I'm
both
agnostic
agree
to
those aren't
most of
real.
those.
And basically, my position is that I also think the one extra deity that you probably think is real, I don't think that that one's real either, right? So,
Oh no, I'd be like agnostic to most of those positions.
like, they're all equally weighted in your mind?
No, I just say I don't have like I wouldn't say that I have good reasons to reject like every single God entity posited, right? So I'd be largely agnostic in most positions, given that I haven't interacted with them or given them proper considerations. So I wouldn't be
Okay.
atheistic towards those gods.
Do you not believe in them?
Um, well, I wouldn't say that I don't believe in them, right? I would just say like I haven't evaluated the position, right? But for example, obviously, like
Well,
first glance, global atheism is absurd, given that like you have a pantheistic conception of God, which just states that the universe is God. Obviously, I think the universe exists. Therefore, global atheism would be incompatible with my position.
Um. Oh, okay. I'm not sure what you're trying to get at. Like in my mind, I just try to talk simply with
Just
people.
responding.
Like for example, I would just ask, like, do you believe in the great juju? Right? And most people would say, no, I don't. And that would mean that they don't believe in the great juju. Right?
Well, I can tell you I don't use those words to refer to anything, but depending on the conceptual content there, I may take on something
Are you a believer of the
in my
great
belief
juju?
system. Of the nomenclature itself, no, but I don't know what the great juju means, right?
Isn't that like the thing that lives on that mountain? The great juju? The great?
Because like you could mean like water bottles by the great juju, and I'd say, well, yeah, I believe in that, but you know, I don't
Um,
know what you mean by the great juju.
so the juju refers to a group of authentic, localized Western African spiritual practices and beliefs. Um, blah blah blah. The great juju um, is typically refers to fictitious tribal spirits, I guess. But the question is, if someone came up to you and said, "Do you believe in the great juju?" What
Well, yeah,
what's
I
your
do believe in
response?
their. I'd say, yeah, like I'll concede that they have fictitious spirits. Like I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. So the answer would be no, you don't believe in the great juju.
I do. If they're just like fictitious spirits, then I do.
If they're fictitious, you believe in them?
I mean, that's what you said. It refers to fictitious tribal spirits.
Oh, I think I was just reading Google and it was just indicating that they were fictitious, right? Someone that believed in them wouldn't call them fictitious, though.
Oh, I mean, through that analysis, right? I'd reject their existence because I have priors against spiritual beings.
You would reject their existence. Right, meaning you don't believe in them. Right, that's what that means when we say that sentence.
Yeah, I would
Right.
take on the belief and I would justify by saying that, well, I would just say that I have higher priors against the existence of spiritual beings, right?
Yeah,
And I could go about justifying that
sure.
through like an IBE case. So
Sure.
that's what I was just like looking for you. Like, why do you not believe in these sorts of entities?
Well, for the same, exactly the same reason you're providing for the, well, maybe not the exact same reason, but that's the whole point. Is I was just trying to get the vocabulary correct, which is for some reason you're uncomfortable with the phrase, "No, I don't believe in the great juju," but you're fine pointing out that you don't think that the claims of the great juju are correct. Um, And so that's just a bit confusing because that's normally what someone means when they say, "No, I don't believe that thing. I'm not convinced of that thing," right? They mean exactly what you're saying, but with, much more complicated words.
But no, all I said is that I would say that I take on the position that it doesn't exist. Um,
Right.
Specifically, that it doesn't exist. I would take on the countering hypotheses because I would say that the hypothesis is highly improbable, right?
Which is just shorthand for "I don't believe," right? Because I lack the evidence needed to convince me of the position.
No, no, I'm not agnostic. I'm saying that
No.
I'm saying that I have good reasons to reject that they exist.
Right, which is exactly what it means by "I don't believe." Like, I don't believe you because you haven't given me good evidence. That's what that means, right? You're just using different words
That's not what
to
I'm saying.
describe the exact same thing.
Typically, we would like say that we lack some sort of evidence for a proposition, which is just to say that maybe we're agnostic to the proposition or its negation, and its negation. So typically, you wouldn't take the negation position of a proposition when you're agnostic to it.
Well,
But here I'm taking like a sort of a jujuist position where I'm saying these things don't exist, and I have good reasons to believe that they don't exist. I'm not taking an agnostic position to say, well, I don't have good evidence, so therefore I don't assign like a belief to this.
um, yeah, you kind of switched back and forth between knowing and believing. Those are kind of separate, right? Like,
Yeah, they are.
I can know a thing, or maybe I don't know a thing, but I believe a thing, or I don't believe a thing. Those are kind of different words. So, like, if I say I don't believe
I'm just
you,
using knowledge as a justified true belief.
knowledge is a justified true belief. Okay. So,
Yeah, I'm not sure
knowledge,
where I explicitly
your
use
knowledge,
knowledge though.
well, hang on, your knowledge necessarily requires something to be true.
Yeah, we could just take like a weak correspondence account.
Yeah. So, normally the word truth is only used in a confidence sense in the first place. So, using a definition like that seems kind of weird. Because if true is only used as a confidence you have in a particular position based on evidence, then just saying I have a justified true belief is the same as saying that, I have evidence that convinces me of this particular position. Like, that means the same thing.
Well, no, we would say that it's true that a specific hypothesis is more probable than a competing one, right? That's what I said explicitly.
Well, but it's not. Uh, are you using the word probable in a literal sense, or are you like a calculatable sense, or are you using it as the standard way of simply talking about categories of evidence. Because I would agree
Not
with
sure of the
you,
difference.
right? That, but
Just
but the
I'm
calculating way is
talking like of
obviously not going to happen.
no, like we can, for example, we can take the two hypotheses, examine the postulates. We can check the. I guess we can examine the explanatory power. We can examine which theory explains certain things better, predicts certain things better. Even
Hmm.
we can examine parsimony if it's the case that explanation is equal. Then we can come to an understanding of which theory is more probable on the basis of explanation or on the basis of parsimony if all else is equal.
Um, I don't know why you're arguing with me. That it's like you said exactly what I just said again.
I'm not. The, I mean, I'm not sure on the difference between like the standard sense and the calculable sense. So
Well,
I'm just clarifying upon how I'm using it.
a calculatable probability is literally, the probability of set A as a subset of space S is the measure of A divided by the measure of S, right? So that's literally a calculation of probability, right? Um, that's how you do it
Yeah,
mathematically. That's how you make actual comparisons of actual numbers, right? In the
yeah. I'm
real
pretty sure
world,
you
we
can
don't
just assign.
do that, right? Maybe on a specific case by case basis when we evaluate something statistically, but certainly when we're talking about, you know, whatever it is, facts about reality, we're typically presenting evidence, and the word true, or we might use the phrase more probable, we're using it in a simplified sense. Like, we're not literally going to calculate every possible variation and figure out, the collection of cases that satisfy the particular conditions that we set forth and then divide the two. Like, that's obviously not what's going to happen, but we still use the
Sure,
phrasing
I
that way,
mean,
right?
obviously, I wouldn't sit here and do that, but
Hmm.
I don't think we couldn't. Obviously, I mean, obviously we could. That's kind of retarded to say, but
Obviously, we could.
yeah, I'd say, yeah, yeah, I wouldn't say that we couldn't. That's kind of retarded, but like,
How would
I would
you?
say then
What
that
do
I'm
you?
using in the most standard sense.
What's the probability of, I don't know, the the Earth having an even number of atoms?
I'm not sure what data we would need to take into consideration to um even formulate hypothesis.
I think most would just
A
say that.
physicist.
I think most would just say that they don't know, and that it's not possible to know, and they wouldn't assign it a probability.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's not possible, but I'd say I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's not possible to know, right?